This is Disc Priest Dungeon Guide's Temple of the Jade Force Heroic Edition. Whether you're new to healing, new to the spec, or just feeling anxious about queuing up at 90, this guide is for you. Being a washed up never was, I want to show you that anyone can do this and help you have fun and get the most out of your priest along the way. Here's our glyphs. Here's our talents. Let's get started here. Heading in. So we're gonna deal with some trash here. We just want to do our atonement heals off the big guys, and when the little guys come out, we're gonna go ahead and pop Divine Star. Mines here if our melee aren't taking any damage, but usually they do, so we're gonna have to go ahead and keep atonement healing or pop a prayer healing here. And then we get to the first boss. This first boss is just more trash. So as a disc priest, we're just gonna be doing the same thing we do in pretty much all trash. We DPS and let the atonement healing do work. And one thing to note is when these guys blow up, they drop a pool of disease under them, and so your melee are going to take damage unless they move out of it. So you're ready to throw them some healing. Divine Star and Prayer of Healing do a lot of work here. We got 4 of these guys to kill, so yeah, I'm gonna kind of go through our mana pool here, but don't worry, we'll have time to use Mindbender on the boss here. So just gonna keep, you see the Divine Star and the Prayer of Healing each time. Okay, when the boss comes out, we're gonna go ahead and start DPSing, drop our Mindbender, and just move around the boss. Don't get hit by the wave. Just keep DPSing. Get ready. When the boss is about to die, we're gonna be the first ones off, and we're gonna life grip our tanks so they can take full advantage of this move speed buff. We're gonna give them feathers, so that tank can do a lot of damage while everybody's catching up. So you just keep up with your tank, they'll start killing stuff and you'll kill it with them. Now, this tank took it pretty slow. I've seen tanks pull this group, pull 2 groups, pull all the way up to this fish here. So you just want to be ready. You shouldn't have used any cooldowns on the first boss or any of the trash up till now, so you should be good to go. If they want to pull big, you throw them a pain suppression. If they pull the whole thing, you might have to chain pain step into barrier, but either way, you're good to go. This next boss is not, you shouldn't need any cooldowns here either. Pretty much, you only need cooldowns for the last boss in this dungeon. This boss has a few different forms. This is a more difficult one, I think. What happens is as you damage one of these, they get stacks of a buff. I think they do more damage, take more damage, that sort of thing. But when they get high, they're doing a lot of damage, and then they go immune to damage. So you can't really kill it with that before it goes immune. So you kind of have to let the stacks fall off, and then they go immune. And then switch to the other one. But you see someone was hitting the one on the left while we were DPSing the skull, so now they both are immune. This is what you really don't want to have happen. So you're going to see that, I have to try to swap over to doing healing because everything's immune. I can't give any atonement heals, but then I'm trying to atonement, and this tank is just like low because he's taking a ton of damage because we totally mismanaged this boss. But as a healer, there's not much you can do. You just, if you can do damage to one of them, you heal with that. If you can't, then use your single target heals as best you can. You can see even with totally screwing it up, still kill it, easy. You can life grip the tank if you want to again here, give them feathers or whatever. You see I didn't do that and got kind of bored, and then the tank runs by me while I'm checking out my gear. But this trash pull here, again, this tank is pretty conservative. Other tanks will go and pull all 3 packs. So ideally, you've used your cooldowns on the previous trash, not on that boss, and then you have your cooldowns for this, because these ones do actually do a lot of damage. You can heal through it with cooldowns, but you know, if your tank takes it slow, it's fine too. But just to know, you can heal through it with your cooldowns and direct heals onto the tank. Throwing penance with Archangel and chaining G heals into them is good. Now on this boss, you want to look out. There's a fire wave and a green fire wave, and you need to get out of the way of these, because as you'll see, they do a boatload of damage. You see my tank is just absolutely getting crushed. I think it's like 50k a tick, and I can't remember if it takes like every 2 or 3 seconds, but you see I'm just like chaining into this tank, and he's eating a ton of damage, and then the warrior gets it too, and you see how long that debuff is? Like, we're gonna kill this boss and the warrior's debuff's not even gonna be halfway done because he stood in fire. And I think I didn't realize how bad it was, even though he's getting chunked. I'm like, oh, I'll throw a renew on him and it's gonna go away soon, right? Nope, he dies before. John, I don't know what I was thinking. I'm just like, here, he'll get healed up with atonement, but he just didn't. He was taking 50k a tick. But on this trash, you want to make sure you're dispelling. If these 3 things will cast stuff, a single target thing, so if one person gets 2 of them, then you can dispel that person. If multiple people get it, you probably want to use a mass dispel to get it at the same time. But then this boss is pretty straightforward. You want to just use atonement heals, but then he's going to go into a phase where everyone gets a image, and the images run up and do damage. In his first phase, somebody gets a debuff that I'm supposed to dispel. You're supposed to dispel too. It does AoE damage, so you see the warrior got it and he ran out, and I never dispelled him because I just wasn't paying attention. But when you get the images, you can drop down a barrier or spirit shell, so you can rotate between those. Use spirit shell once, barrier the other time, and try to keep up prayer mending, because it'll bounce around and do a lot of healing. And that's just a really efficient spell. But outside of those phases, you want to make sure you're just atonement healing and kind of watching for that shadow orb to pop out. That's the indicator for the debuff, or you can watch your bars for the debuff to go out. You see it's on the mage right now, and I missed it again. Looks like I finally saw it after a while. But here you see Spirit Shell. I mean, no one's really dying here, but and we're done. So leave a like if you're checking out my other guides. Subscribe to see my challenge mode guides as soon as they're available. And drop a comment if you thought my advice could be better, or you play another spec and want one of these. Peace.